and they're like, what is
Never heard
this?
of sugar in your soil.
Okay, so most of the time, the
Control
people
your
that
emotions, not
they've
break
been
under pressure.
painted
All this
is
stuff is
We are one of the very few
meditating,
businesses, organizations
you know,
where you
so
can shop
really
great
that's-
tips already off the bat, and we're just starting.
Go to Topbox.
Hello and welcome to Healthier Habits, a podcast that discusses challenges and solutions when it comes to health and wellness, as well as connecting you to some local resources in Chicago. My name is Cassandra Zumba.
And I am Yakwache and will be your host. We are the Policy, System, and Environmental Coordinators here at the Chicago Partnership for Health Promotion, a program from the Office of Community Engagement and Neighborhood Health Partnerships at UIC. We have a special guest with us today. He has worked for topboxfoods for 10 years, developing and coordinating and implementing community initiatives designed to address food system gaps and improve food equity for underserved communities throughout Illinois and Louisiana. Connor's role has involved developing and managing the organization's strategic partnerships while providing program oversight and establishing innovative supply chain solutions to support a more localized food system. With us today is the Executive Director of Topbox Foods, Connor DeLoach. How are you doing today, Connor?
I'm doing great. That's quite a profile. It's crazy to think I've had a hand in all of those things, but it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you talking to us.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, your intro here, 10 years in developing and coordinating, that's right off the bat, right after college, I'm assuming. Great.
I actually got involved when I was 19. I started volunteering when they just started Topbox here in Chicago, and I fell in love with it immediately. Wanted to take a bigger role, and I, in partnership with a friend of mine, transferred from Indiana to Tulane, where there was a significant need for a similar program, and we helped launch it in New Orleans. So it was even pre-college where I got involved, and it's been sort of my life's work since, I guess you could say.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's start with our little icebreaker here. So, Connor, why don't you create your to-go-to meal kit for us, or a produce box that we could find at Topbox Market?
This is a fun icebreaker. We do this at Topbox with pretty much to start every meeting. We ask what your favorite current produce item is.
I guess we're not original then.
No, well, it's relevant.
Or it's great minds that
Oh,
Exactly.
true.
Exactly. So I just recently started making pizzas at home myself. So I would love to keep it in line with eating healthy, but I feel like I have to be truthful. So I would develop a box that would have cherry tomatoes, onions, garlic, basil, fresh mozzarella, and I would use that to make my adult Lunchable, my home pizza.
I mean, I don't hear anything that's not healthy there.
Yeah,
That's
true.
awesome. Sounds great.
Good. So let's jump in. At 19 years, we said that's when you were introduced to Topbox. So give us a little bit of what Topbox mission, the founder story, and just the history behind that.
Sure. So we were founded by Chris and Sheila Kennedy. I think they are phenomenal public servants. They've always been dedicated to giving back to the community, finding ways to support and address challenges that exist. So they looked at Topbox as a way of addressing food insecurity, making healthy food affordable and accessible, specifically in those areas of the city where there was limited access. So our mission was, like I said, create affordability and accessibility around healthy, fresh, high-quality foods.
Yeah.
And it was really simple at the onset. We would shop around throughout the month to find the best deals on all of these amazing products.
Yeah.
We make them available on our website where individuals could go shop for those products. And then we set up centralized distributions throughout the city, usually in partnership with faith-based ministries, other community partners, where we knew they had a centralized presence and people were comfortable going to those locations. And that's where they could go to pick up their food. So humble beginnings, but with a big mission and a big goal in mind of really making food accessible to everybody. And that was sort of the status quo for many years. And then obviously the pandemic, like many organizations, changed just about everything about what we do. And so to keep our team safe, to keep our customers safe, to keep all of the volunteers safe, everybody who's working at Topbox or contributing to some aspect of what we were doing, we pivoted to Rather than centralized pickup locations, 100% free home deliveries. And it was pretty wild times, both in Louisiana and Illinois. I think everybody working at Topbox was engaged in many sleepless nights trying to figure out how to make all that possible. But it was really, really impressive. And I think we're really, really proud of what we accomplished during a really challenging time for so many people. We saw sales and participation in our programming go up almost like 2,000%. It was crazy, almost overnight. And it changed everything about what we do. I think we now have essentially two different offshoots of how we provide access to food. And one is sort of the founding platform, which is Topbox Market. That is where any individual can go to our website, shop for food, see what we have available, place an order, and then we deliver to your home for free. And there's plenty of perks and amazing things about that platform, which I can get into in a sec if you want. But the other thing that developed during the pandemic is rather than us just being a resource for individuals, partners, all the people that we've been working with initially to make people aware of what we were doing, the churches, the faith-based ministries, community centers, and then also healthcare organizations like UIC, Rush, many others, government agencies, businesses. They all started looking at Topbox as a collaborative partner in the food initiatives that they wanted to carry out themselves. So rather than just being a place for individuals to shop, we now run about 50 different food initiatives in collaboration with partners throughout the Chicagoland area and, like you mentioned, Louisiana, that are more specifically curated and designed to meet the need of their communities, their clients, and we're really proud of that.
You mentioned Louisiana and Illinois. How did you get to either the conclusion or how did you get set in those two settings?
So Chicago obviously is the home of Chris and Sheila Kennedy, and there were a lot of food security issues that they were hoping to help address. And they looked at Topbox as this innovative solution for that. I mentioned I fell in love with it. And a friend of mine, Connor, also named Connor, believe it or not, we did a lot of research to understand where there was a similar need. And the reality was it's pretty similar in most cities. There's a lot of food insecurity around any urban area. But New Orleans at the time was still very much recovering from Katrina, and that a lot of businesses weren't moving back into the areas that had been sort of devastated. And Connor had a big focus on his education, and Tulane was a great school. So we settled on that. And with the support and sort of blessing from Sheila and Chris, that's how we ended up there. And then I stayed to run that part of the organization for about 10 years until coming back here. Almost 2 years ago now to sort of take over oversight of all of Topbox.
Right. So 2 years ago, pretty much right in the midst of the pandemic, right?
It was sort of on the heels of it. I think at that point, things were kind of normalizing. We knew a lot more about COVID and things had kind of settled in and we were getting comfortable with the new norm. But definitely, yes, still present, still something we were navigating.
So what we know the pandemic brought a lot of challenges, not just anyway, just like everywhere in general. So in this industry, what is the biggest challenge that you've seen so far? From 19, I don't know how old you are now, but from when you started till now, what would be the biggest challenge that you have experienced in this industry?
Our food system is a little bit, I think challenging is a good way to put it, but it is really vulnerable. Maybe a better way to put it. For instance, during the pandemic, there are a few large manufacturers and distributors that sort of provide every place where you shop, all the restaurants. It actually is pretty consolidated to only a single few. And when one of them went down, all of a sudden you saw, for instance, chicken's no longer on any of the shelves in any of the grocery stores. So I would say the biggest challenge definitely is that our food system is just really vulnerable. And I'm really, really proud of the work that Topbox has done to take steps to help support a more localized food system. Most recently, we were just awarded a grant called IL Eats, which is designed to help organizations who are addressing food security basically purchase food from local producers, specifically minority disenfranchised owners, and then redistribute that in the communities at no cost to our partners or the participants. So it's an amazing program that's really allowing us to learn a lot about how we could engage local producers in a more meaningful way, how we can help support them with selling into these sort of institutional partnerships that we now have. And it's really fascinating. We have a long way to go, but I think that's the biggest challenge and one that we are really excited to continue working on addressing.
Yeah, and I think one thing we also partnered with, UIC at Topbox was with helping with food insecurity. I think in the city of Chicago, the rate of food insecurity is like 20%, and whereas in Cook County is 15.4%. And like just in general, in terms of numbers, 1 in every 5 person is probably food insecure, and that's why we also wanted to partner with you guys in terms of coming with the meal kit, which is for SNAP eligible families in Chicago who are able to purchase one of our meal kits that serves 4 people. And then with the link up, we're able to either redeem those points for more fresh produce or they can have 50% off. So if an institution like UIC wants to work with you, what is the process, or how did that come about? What's the process in partnering with an institution?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I'll just start by saying we are incredibly proud of all of our partnerships. And I think we are, at our core, an incredibly collaborative organization. We don't believe that we have sort of like the keys to the kingdom, the recipe for success. Every single situation is different. So partners who reach out to us often have a wide range of needs, whether it is, we are just looking to provide food for our entire community, or whether it is, all of our clients are diabetic and we need to curate a very specific diabetic friendly box that they can use. And so basically we just listen to the partners, understand what they're trying to do, and then we collaborate and discuss what we can do to make that possible. If we can't do it ourselves, we are really, really good at bringing in other partners to help as well. Like I said, we're just very collaborative. So I think partnering with us always starts with a call or an email, and usually involves a couple really collaborative, productive conversations, usually ending in a food initiative with a date and ready to get kicked off, and sort of a method to the madness.
Okay.
I've seen that there is not 2 different versions, but 2 different ways to go around with Topbox. Like we were mentioning the Topbox partners, but there's also a market, right? That individuals can go in and curate their own boxes as well. Can you tell us a little about that and the difference between both?
Yeah, so Topbox Market, like I said, it's sort of our founding program. That's really what we are at the core, is an organization that's striving to create access and affordability for everybody. Proud of the partnerships. They do a lot of amazing work. But the idea that people need that, you have to be part of a program to get access is not entirely true to our core. It's amazing, but the market is what helps us reach everybody. So you mentioned 1 in 5 people are struggling with food insecurity. The market is the resource for just any individual to go shop and get access to healthy food. And we do an amazing job of working with other partners, identifying grants, and trying to create additional incentives and opportunities for people to save when they're shopping there. So one great example is we are partnered with Experimental Station. Sorry, great partners. And they have a grant through the USDA that helps provide SNAP match dollars. So we are one of very few businesses, organizations where you can shop online using EBT. So if you go to Topbox with your link card, topboxfoods.com, you can place an order there using your link card. And then we also, through that grant and that partnership, are able to incentivize a dollar for dollar match. So you get basically 100% in value with what you spend back to be spent on produce. So if you spend $50, you get $50 back that you can use to buy produce for free.
Wow, that's a great program. And then we were talking earlier in a different episode on how just the transportation issue, just getting to a grocery store, having to coordinate your day, your family, whatever it is sometimes the biggest struggle.
Yeah.
So this is for sure eliminating one of those barriers that might be there when it's just arrives to your house,
Right.
You do all the pre-planning and then it's at home and you kind of do already the meal prep idea of it. And it's really helpful to kind of organize your day and save some money as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what's incredible about the service as a whole is, we have a team of very, very passionate employees and staff who are really amazing when it comes to the delivery component. I think almost all of our customers enjoy when Topbox arrives because our team is just so friendly. We go above and beyond to make sure that this experience is as easy as it can possibly be. I would say anybody who's struggling with maybe transportation or can't, quite find the time, wants to make healthier choices, check out topboxfoods.com and shop. And the other aspect is the convenience of it. So like with EATMOVESAVE, we've developed these amazing meal kits that have recipes that coincide with them and give you the tools to really prepare an amazing, healthy meal without really even having to leave your house. I encourage activity, but that is the nature of what we are able to provide.
Yeah, but maybe because you save some time on doing all the grocery shopping, now you have a bigger time to do the local,
Exactly.
Yes. So when we spoke previously, you mentioned about partnering with institution. What is that going to look like for future plans, or what is the future plans of Topbox?
Yeah, so we are already partnered with a number of large institutions, and the difference is all of our programming right now is set up to serve their clients or their communities that they're trying to provide support for. One thing that we really believe is that improving the overall health and well-being of your employees is something that is an amazing attribute of an employer. And I think we are looking, hopefully in the near future, to try to encourage businesses, especially those that have a really, really significant number of employees, especially low to middle income employees, looking at partnering with them to understand how we can lend our services to their companies so that they can provide their employees with better food, healthy groceries. And I think ultimately, it's pretty proven that employers who provide better healthcare benefits save a lot. They also make a better environment. People tend to be, their emotional state, their emotional well-being is improved when they are maintaining a healthy diet. And there's just so many benefits of being able to connect your employees to healthy, high-quality foods that we think is a really sort of, so far, it's something that we haven't addressed, haven't explored, but think could be an amazing opportunity to connect people with healthy food.
Yeah, and you hit a great point. That's kind of our mission with this podcast as well. As an organization, we do a lot of direct education within, the community, the population. Mm-hmm. But there's also a way that institutions or leaders can find a way to help in bigger numbers, right? Yeah. We can do so much of teaching the individual, but if we don't have the rest of the community kind of involved and providing resources where it's needed, it's kind of harder because you need the community to build the community as well.
And we were just also touching on nutrition and productivity. So if your employees are well-fed, nutritious food, they're more productive in the workplace, and you just get much better results in the work and then outside of the work as well. So if I am an institution, what is it called? Yeah, university. And I like what you are saying right now, and I want to partner with you. I know you said it's just a phone call. Could you just what's the number? What's the number?
Yeah, I think, to get a little bit more detail oriented, typically what we want to understand is, what are you trying to provide? Are you trying to provide produce? Are you trying to provide your beneficiaries the option to customize and have selection or option? Or are you trying to create like a specific meal kit or meal program that you want people to follow? And once we start understanding that, typically what we'll do is we will go out and start looking at our existing inventory and what other products we may need to source and try to curate basically like a price point to understand. We also try to understand from our partners at the onset, are we going to be delivering to people's homes? Is this food that's going to be dropped off directly to one location? And then your team is helping to connect it to an end user. So there's a bunch of just sort of like logistical things that we want to understand. And then also what's always really important is like, what's the impact that you want to accomplish? And I think we have been at this for quite a while, and we've become really good at tracking sort of data, outcomes, looking to, collect feedback from participants and communicate that back to partners so we can collaboratively work to improve whatever program we're running. So all of those kinds of things are really, really important and usually established right at the onset. And then, from there, I think it's really a matter of figuring out, are we helping with the enrollment process, or is that something you're going to do? And then when is that start date? Typically, once it gets set, usually we have about I would say a 3 to 4 week kind of learning period to uncover any unknowns with a specific program or project. And then once we get going, I think a lot of our partners find that it's really, really easy and enjoyable to work with us. And that we are really, really friendly, fun, collaborative partners to work with.
And you guys do also have volunteer opportunities for those that are not looking to work as well.
Of course, yeah. We are incredibly grateful for all the volunteers that come support our work. It really is a huge component of what we view as Topbox becoming a sustainable social business.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, we're a nonprofit, and we definitely work off of grants and we get donations, but it's not nearly as big of a part of our sort of goal and priorities as I think a lot of nonprofits tend to have, which is fine. But for us, it's more about building something that if the community is participating in, and we have partnerships that are designed to, cover the cost of what it's going to take to carry out these programs, that alone should be sufficient for us to do our job. So having volunteer support really alleviates some of the expenses and costs, and we really appreciate all of the groups. We have a lot of corporate groups that come volunteer. We have a lot of just dedicated individuals who are looking to give back to their community. And it looks a lot like it could be helping to pack boxes in our warehouse. It could be helping to carry out the actual home deliveries for certain programs. It could be coming to our office and helping on the customer service line. There are tons of opportunities. And if anybody's interested, I would, again, encourage them to go to our website, topboxfoods.com, and take a look at what's available. And you can actually sign up directly on our website.
Yeah. I am very much interested in volunteering. I was actually looking at it first. I was like, it would be nice to just spend a Saturday packing a box and just helping with the community in some way that I can.
Well, I forgot to mention the other way you can volunteer is just by starting a podcast and hosting Topbox.
I'll check that off the list.
But we would love to have you, for sure.
Of course. It was really great talking to you. And I just started, 8 months ago with this job. And I think food insecurity is very big, especially in North Lawndale communities or many of the underserved communities. And a lot of the problems they really do face is, we don't have access to a grocery store. And with the meal kit and with the free delivery, that definitely eliminates that as well, where you're not, taking, I don't know how many, 5 buses to go get to the grocery store, and maybe you're unable to leave the house because of a disability or something. That is a very way to,
Yeah, your organization really helped us also pivot during the pandemic, because since we are very hands-on, in the organizations of other institutions, giving classes with the people, there was a full stop when the pandemic hit, and we were just trying to scramble around to see what other alternatives there was to outreach to the community. And you were a great help to start with this partnering and try to figure out what other ways we could reach out to the community as well. So,
yeah, and I also enjoyed the meal kit boxes you guys said. With they were able to send me about 3 boxes with all fresh produce, and then with the recipe cards with the meal kit. And I spent a weekend just going through the meal kits, and it just tasted amazing. And the produce was fresh as well too.
Maybe we should do a taste test episode just for research purposes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just to kind of recap that, I think as a team, we are really committed and passionate about being the best overall grocery experience possible. And I think that extends itself across the entire spectrum. It is as much about the individuals who are receiving food or shopping with us as it is about the partners who are helping us carry out these amazing initiatives. We want this to be an enjoyable, seamless, effortless process for everybody that we work with.
And then you could also find Topbox on the Find Illinois resource as well. You guys have 2 locations on there. And then you can also find our meal kit on the Find Illinois as well. And so we've reached the end of our podcast. Where can people, you've been saying topbox.com, but where can they reach you for the services, organization, any type of website, social media, anything you would like to promote in general?
Yeah, on social media, you can follow us at topboxfoods. Topboxfoods.com is a good place to go if you're looking to shop, if you're looking to learn more about who we partner with, what our programs are, or just more about who Topbox is as a whole, you can email info@topboxfoods.com if you are looking to start a partnership or learn more about what partnering with us might look like. And I always tell people, we have an amazing team who are always on the phone lines and a kind, friendly voice ready to connect with you. So call us anytime, 312-527-7890.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening to Healthier Habits with your hosts, Cassandra Zumba
And Diakwachi.
We hope you enjoyed this conversation. Keep an eye out for more episodes and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Here at CPHP, we have the EATMOVESAVE Meal Kit. This is an e-commerce project dedicated to improving and resolving access to healthy and affordable foods through a meal kit, which is packaged and delivered directly to a family's home throughout Chicago through Topbox. Visit our EATMOVESAVE website for more information on meal kit ordering and delivery.
You can help support the podcast by liking, sharing, and subscribing, following us on our social media accounts on Instagram as EATMOVESAVE Chicago, Facebook EATMOVESAVE Chicago, and YouTube as UIC OCEAN-HP. Look for the podcast tab for more episodes.
If you'd like more information on partnering with our organization, head over to our website, cphp.uic.edu, and send us a message.
Thank you for joining this chat. Check out our links and resources in the description. See you next time.
Bye.
This institution is an equal opportunity provider. This material is funded by the USDA Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. Chicago Partnership for Health Promotion is a unit of the Office of Community Engagement and Neighborhood Health Partnerships, representing a network of community-based interventions designed to improve nutrition and reduce disparities in outcomes associated with nutritional diseases, including obesity. CPHP provides high-quality, age, gender, and culturally tailored nutrition education in various venues across the city.
Eat, Move, Save.